A cam's rolling, Frito cam's rolling, and God bless the man behind the camera, by the way, Daniel Freitas. We call him Frito, La Machina, Translito, Producer Frito, whatever you want to call him. He hasn't been able to sit down in the 5 days we've been in Hamburg until just now. This is his favorite part of the weekend, where he just gets to watch the boys cook. Travis Mewhirter here with Kyle Friend. If you are sick and tired of our voices, I don't blame you. But we're going to keep talking about beach volleyball. We did 5 matches yesterday being Saturday for quarterfinal day, and then we did 8 matches today, every single semifinal, every single medal match here from the Hamburg Elite 16. And that's what we are going to recap in this video. 8 matches later. Kyle, I'm not done talking about beach volleyball.
I guess we're still talking beach volleyball. The voice still here. We can't stop. We won't stop. We just love it. We just love it. We're here to talk more about this really stellar weekend in Hamburg. I feel like this was a special weekend.
It was a phenomenal weekend. My first time in Hamburg, as I mentioned in our lead up, and the women's gold medal match delivered what was a phenomenal crowd the entire weekend. And as I said on the broadcast a number of times, we don't root for teams, but when you have a home team in a gold medal match, as we did with Sinja Tillman and Svenja Mueller, it just makes for a special final, especially when that final is the top seed, Sinja Tillman, Svenja Mueller, and the number 2 seed, Nina Brunner, Tanja Huberli. The first time we've seen the 1 play the 2 since the Paris Elite 16 in the gold medal match. You have the best defender in Sinja Tillman versus the best defender in Nina Brunner, and watching that defensive duel, it was a special moment, and that was won in maybe the match of the weekend, 21-18, 18-21, 18-16, the second gold medal for Switzerland this season. And it's difficult to remember, Kyle, the fact that before the season, they had never won on the Beach Pro Tour.
Isn't that crazy?
It's nuts. And now they've won twice. Won their first one in Tepic, won gold here in Hamburg.
It's just after that Tepic finish, it seemed like something switched. And Nina mentioned it and how they have been able to close out games. That doesn't just happen overnight. That takes time, that takes losses, that takes battles, that takes grinding. Exactly what they did here. And it's crazy in that match, 18-16, just like you said, one of the best matches of the weekend, one of maybe the best matches of the year. Sinja Tillman had match point, gold medal swing, Travis. And what happens? Tanja Huberli steps up to the plate and gets her only block of the match. Maybe the most important block of this whole weekend, maybe one of the most important blocks of her career. To lock down. They didn't end the game on that, right? They had to work a little bit harder, but Germany had it in their grasp. The crowd could taste the gold.
And if you were to say Sinja Tillman has a free ball opportunity perfectly in system and has an attack for the gold medal match, you're betting on Sinja every single time, especially with how good she was the entire weekend. Siding out above 70%. In transition, she was spectacular per usual. Tanja Huberli, timing is everything. Gets her first and only block to save the match, and they're still down at. And so that just tied it at 15-15.
Right.
Switch sides, they earn a point, take the advantage, ended up closing it out 18-16. And when I was talking to Nina and Tanja on the court afterwards, they said that win in Tepic, it just gave them that little bit of confidence, a little bit of belief that they needed to close out those matches. And that's what they've learned how to do.
Yeah, it was truly impressive, and a defensive battle. You had to be perfect to play offense against those two teams because of the dynamic ability of both the block and the defense. And Sinja Tillman, like you said, she didn't get served many balls this weekend. Svenja Mueller rose to the occasion. Yes, they walked away with the silver, but she's got to walk away feeling confident with her ability this weekend, her ability to perform, her ability to side out under pressure. We talked about her passing. At times, it could be inconsistent in the past. It wasn't the case here. She was passing dimes. She was siding out like a champ.
She was fantastic. Fantastic weekend for Switzerland, phenomenal weekend for Germany, and a huge congratulations or parabéns to Victoria Lopez and Themela Corradelli. Just 2 tournaments into the new partnership. Take a big bronze here, beat Valentina Gottardi and Marta Menegatti, 21-19, 21-19 in a hard-fought bronze medal match. And my heart aches for the Italian Federation as a whole, coming away with the worst best finish possible. Paola Nicolai, Sam Kodafava also get 4th alongside Gottardi and Menegatti. So a big congratulations, however, to Brazil for bringing home that bronze medal. And we mentioned special is a word that's come up a number of times. And it was such a special weekend to see Laura Ludwig, one of the greatest of all time, to retire here at home in Hamburg. And it was sort of poetic in the way she went out because she lost to the new face of German beach volleyball in a quarterfinal to Sinja Tillman and Svenja Mueller. And I got goosebumps watching Ludwig play her final match.
It was an emotional event here. I didn't think I would feel that kind of emotion, but I think the fans and Laura on the court, the passion her and Luisa showed while they played, it was something outerworldly, and like you said, the goosebumps were running up the body for sure. And Louisa Lippmann, I mean, she made a statement this weekend. I believe that she maybe was the best player in the arena this weekend.
Has an argument for it, for sure.
Maybe the best server in the arena. She was siding out at the highest number, was leading in kills per set or per match for a while as well. But like Laura said, she sat with us in the booth, which I'm never going to forget that, actually, because she was just so rad. She is one of those people that when she comes into the room, she lights up. She's got this aura, this energy about her that is contagious, it's infectious, and you just want to be around her all the time. But she talked about working with Louisa and how much fun she had and managing the emotions of this event and knowing that it was her last event and still being able to bring it on the court, which she did. She was emotional, she was playing great. Special weekend with Laura.
Special weekend. It was just so cool to see the organizers, the promoters, volleyball world really embrace the moment and acknowledge it and honor it for what it was. That Laura Ludwig, 5-time Olympian, Olympic gold medalist, World Tour Finals champion, world champion, 3-time sports person of the year, just such an integral part of our sport, a huge influence and an impact. And she has 2 signature moves that are named after her. The German float that took the world by storm after she won that gold medal in 2016, that's the Ludwig. The over-on-ones that we're seeing from the Kristen Nusses, the Sarah Hughes, the Sinja Tillmans, the Nina Brunners, that's the Ludwig, and that's just going to get getting passed down from generation to generation to generation. So hats off to everyone who made this weekend, the special weekend that it was for Ludwig, who very much deserved all the flowers, all the love, all the adoration that she did. And sort of a storyline that went under the radar because we weren't in Switzerland, we were in Germany, but the dissolution of one of the most iconic partnerships in Swiss beach volleyball history, Joanna Mader and Anouk Jo. They played their last event together, took a 5th here in Hamburg, and we actually got the chance to sit down with them, have a little podcast there at the hotel, the Grand Elysian. It was just cool to see them reminisce on their partnership and all the ups and downs, and my goodness gracious, have they had some ups and downs.
You know, I didn't realize how low at times they had gotten with the injuries with Joanna, and we asked Joanna what it meant to have Anouk support her through that, and it was emotional. I was getting emotional listening to them talk about it, and it is hard when you're injured and you're out for 10 months at a time and your partner's floundering and kind of waiting and hoping that you're going to come back and be healthy, and Anouk stuck with Joanna through the ups and downs, and it seemed as if their partnership grew. It got better. You know, when you have those lows and you can find a way to grow and get better through that, you become just a bigger and stronger whole. The foundation became strong, and it showed in their career. They changed the face of Swiss volleyball. They put Swiss volleyball on the map, and now Switzerland is a powerhouse in beach volleyballs. I don't know if people ever thought we were going to say that, just like Scandinavia now is becoming a powerhouse, but Switzerland, small country, big heart, a lot of power there.
A lot of power. They were the first Swiss women's team to win an Olympic medal. They won a bronze at the Tokyo Olympic Games, followed up, of course, this year in Paris by Nina Brunner and Tanja Huberli. They won a European championship, and now they're going their separate ways, as are Esme Bobner and Zoe Vergier-Dupre. A bit of a shocking retirement announced on Instagram by Esme, and I was actually on the warm-up court with Betsy Flint and Julia Scholes, and Julia goes, "Did you see this?" Esme is retiring and going out on top, and she says, "I just have another path in my life," and hats off to her, where she's just making a decision. Hey, this is no longer for me. What a phenomenal ride, Esme and Zoe. I think they kind of became the sweethearts of beach volleyball during this Olympic quad.
They did, and we all tuned in to see the battle between Esme, Zoe, and Anouk and Joanna for that fight for the Olympic race, sister on sister. I got to commentate one of those battles in the qualifier where whoever won that match made it through, and it was almost set there. And it was emotional, the stress and the tension that goes on with supporting your sister, but at the same time, wanting to beat them, wanting to earn that Olympic spot. And it was Zoe and Esme that came out victorious, making it to the Olympics. And Esme Bobner, 8 years playing volleyball on the Pro Tour and an outstanding career. She's a sweetheart. We got to do the podcast with her and Stad, her and Zoe. Amazing. And I'm excited for Zoe and what's next for her because she's got a bright future.
Bright future for Swiss volleyball as a whole. Nina Brunner, Tanja Huberli, phenomenal team. Second win, 4 medals in their last 6 events. Where Anouk will turn, where Joanna will turn, where Zoe will turn, we will wait to find out. But where Anders Mol and Christian Sorum are turning, Number 2 all time on the wins list. They just passed Phil Dahlhauser and Todd Rogers with their gold medal here in Hamburg. And chatted with Anders after, and this was off the mic, and he said, that's kind of crazy, isn't it? Because right now, with the star system and with the Future Challenge Elite 16, you can get some inflated wins by cleaning up the 1-stars, cleaning up the futures. All of Anders and Christian's wins are at the challenge at the elite level, at the 4-star, at the 5-star level. It's insane what they've been able to do. And I mentioned in that sort of flash interview I did on court, I said, you're not that far away from Emmanuel and Ricardo. They're 10 wins away. And Anders like, that's a long time. For Anders and Christian, I don't think that's a long time.
That's not a long time. He made it sound like, well, there's a couple more events this year. We got some work to do. We're going to pick up where we left off and just continue to chip away at that lead, which I don't expect them to slow down at any point. Even when they are a little under the weather, some injury, a little neck issue going on with Anders, they find ways to succeed. They find ways to get better. Anders was creative this weekend. The least amount of swings we've ever seen from Anders in a match. And so it forced him to do different shots, find different ways to score. And we talked about it in the booth is, did he get better this weekend? Is it possible that Anders got better from being a little bit hurt this weekend? And it is. I think that's exactly what happened here. He got instant feedback that this works. Wow, I don't need to hit this ball here. This also works with this line over here. So it's a scary sight to see. And you said it, they won this event, but it means a lot to them. You could see they were emotional, they were happy, their coach looking back at us, just so stoked that they got this win. And every win is important, and you have this field littered with Olympians. The only team left in these Championship Sunday was the Mel and Victoria, who weren't Olympians. So this was a stacked Elite 16 tournament. Anders and Christian, I had them winning this event, and they held up to the bet.
And they did, and it wasn't easy. And a big part of that win, we might be entering the backwards hat era of Anders Mole. Backwards hat Anders Mole, bit of a problem, playful Anders, but bigger problem. And it's good to see a healthy Christian Storm. One of the first tournaments that we have seen Christian not just taped together in KT tape. And it showed. I mean, he had some pop on his swings we haven't seen in some time. And his swing to shot ratio was the highest towards the swing I have seen in many tournaments. And meanwhile, Anders was the one shooting. And so even with Christian being the power and Anders being the shooty guy, they can still win in dominant fashion.
How do you want it? How do you want your L? You want the swing in from Anders? You want the swing in from Christian? It doesn't matter. They're just going to dishing out L's left and right. You get an L, and you get an L, and you get an L. It doesn't matter. They're amazing. We're witnessing greatness. It's an honor to be here and calling their games and to be talking with them about them dominating.
And just as it was an honor to see the retirement of Laura Ludwig in person, honor to see Pablo Herrera and Adrian Rivera. 187 tournaments played together as a team. Number 2 all time on that list is St. John Smith and Randy Stokos. That'll never be caught. But Adrian Rivera and Pablo Herrera, an iconic partnership, been together since 2009. Pablo Herrera has been playing professionally for longer than Valentina Guittardi has been alive, and they were playing in the same semifinal. He goes out in fitting fashion, on the podium, silver medal, the 31st medal of his storied career. And it's fitting that the last 2 losses of his career on the biggest stages, in the quarterfinals of the Paris Olympics to Anders and Christian, in the final of the Hamburg Elite 16 to Anders and Christian. And there's a poetic element of that because you have the old guard turning the page to the new in Anders and Christian.
Those L's that I was tossing out, unfortunately, Pablo and Adrian were getting a couple. They took a couple of those this weekend, but not before an absolute brilliant performance from Pablo and Herrera and Gavira in that semifinal matchup against Bormans and de Groot. I've never seen Pablo Herrera play like that. The angles he was hitting, I mean, he can hit the crap out of the ball, but some of those sharp angles, the blocking, 6 blocks, I believe, for Spain compared to 0 for Boom Boom Bormans. Never seen it before. And Bormans turned it around in that bronze medal match, but Herrera and Gavira, they left a mark on the sport. They left a mark in this tournament, and I think they'll see that match and they'll walk away with a happy feeling from this one. And I know that'll be a fun match to go back and watch because of how exquisite and how efficient that they played. It was brilliant.
That semifinal against Stefan Bormans, York de Groot, an incredible one, as was the recovery from Stefan Bormans and York de Groot, who played arguably the worst match of the tournament in that semi and then flipped it around, resumed their normal form, winning the bronze medal here, beaten Sam Kodafava and Paolo Nicolai, who took another tough 4th place finish. Congratulations to Bormans and de Groot, who I think have established themselves as the new face of the Dutch Federation?
There's been a lot of changing of the guard these last couple months. Bormans and de Groot, one of those changing of the guards as we see Robbie Musin retiring and Alexander Brouwer moving on, handing the guard off. And it's in good hands because Jorik de Groot, 23 years young.
Holy moly.
That young
That
man,
dude.
just
He's electric.
all over the court, running around. Highest digs per match this weekend for Jorik de Groot, and it showed. And when he got opportunities to score, he did, and we love his approach. We'll watch him all day long, but that's a team that is on the rise here on the Beach Pro Tour.
On the rise, and that's about all I got from the men's side. Did you want to mention anything else aside from the heartbreaking, the fourth place finishes for Italy? I feel you.
A lot of force for Italy. Valentina and Sam hopefully get a nice dinner tonight and try to celebrate that fourth place and find some joy in this weekend. It's hard. It is hard out here. We talked to Laura in the booth about what you have to do to go get to that bronze medal match and how you have to reset. You have to take a minute, sometimes take a little nap, like she said. See the stuff that you didn't like from that semifinals, the stuff that you did, and then quickly turn it around because that bronze medal match is so difficult. So Italy, leaving a little bit on the table, leaving the fans thirsting for more, and I'm sure they'll be even hungrier into the next event.
And fourth place finish, something to be proud of. It is not easy to get into the semifinals, much less do it in the European Championships, and then again a week later in Hamburg. They are going to bounce back. They're going to be just fine, as are we.
We're going to be fine.
We get to go home, and we get to go to Chicago, where we're going to talk about more beach volleyball. I get to coach more beach volleyball back with my boys, Tri-born Ryan Wilcox, and my girls, Betsy Flint and Julia Scholes. And so we're going to be doing beach access for the AVP back on the Sandcast channels there. What else do we want to do besides talking about beach?
I don't know. We can't stop, won't stop. We love it. We love it. I don't know if you found that out. We realized that, but we love it.
Well, we will see you guys back on these channels for the Joao Pessoa Elite 16 in October, running it back for the Rio Elite 16 in November, and then one last run around with the crew in Doha for the Beach Pro Tour Finals. What do we say, Kyle Friend?
Shoots.